What it is. Hey, what's up? I'm gonna play some music, I think. How's it going today, guys? It's Wednesday. We made it through half the week. That's half the battle won so far. You're still alive, you're here, you're within the sound of my voice. And maybe some music. Let me see. I haven't heard this for a while. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Got nice weather here in California. Let people get tuned in a little bit. I was just pulling up some clips. It might be a short show. We have a Black Swan event predicted. Bitcoin is pumping right now after being way down. It was down to like 61,000 this morning, and it's up over 67,000 now. So the Fed had an announcement today. Is the music loud? Who knows how loud you're hearing it? Hey, 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 hey. Black Swan, squatters. So the title is about squatters. I'll show you that news. Turns out you can just invade a house, live there for 30 days, and then they can't kick you out. So that's the rules. They're actually going to change the rules in Florida because of it. So I'll show you some various things, and as well as repeating some news I went into. Hey, Frying Pants. Steve Cameron Productions says Powell was dovish. I guess that's what the market said. Silver was up today too, over 2%. So silver is doing really well. Yeah, I can show you the various charts. The stock market hit an all-time record high. So are you prepared for a crash? Do you think the stock market is going to crash? When I started this show, 8 years. Jesus. We're getting older together. Might have been almost 8 years ago that we started the show. It was 2015. Yeah, 8 years. Jeez. It might be ending soon. It might, because I might get a job. So I interviewed for a job yesterday, and I think I did a good job. So pray for me and hope that comes through, because I need to do something. I got to get out of the house more and talk to people. So let's hope that works out. But it might not work out for the show, because I might not be able to do the show if that happens. So if you need any help with cryptocurrency, remember you can contact me at my show phone number or at lifttheveil411 on Twitter. I'll promote that again, because I do like working one-on-one with people, like having interactions with people. So that's Bitcoin over 67K. 8K Bright, what's up? The market, let's see, S&P 500 hit an all-time record high. Up 46 points today. It's at 52.24, and there's the chart. All-time record high. Do you think the stock market is going to crash? We can talk about this Black Swan event. It might, and that could bring down Bitcoin too. It's kind of scary. But crypto has continued to pump, even though we were down the last few days. Pretty big, and going down further this morning until Daddy Powell came out and said his piece. He says he won't be raising rates anymore, that this is likely the peak rates. So that's the S&P 500. And then we can show you markets, commodities, silver. Silver is looking good too. Silver up 2.55% today. So this is the 15-minute chart. Here's the daily chart. So silver just has to crack $26, and when silver goes up, it can really go up fast. So, hey, Johnny Midas. Hey, not me. Which chart looks fake? The S&P chart? Boom, straight up today. This is the silver chart from after Powell's comments, straight up after his comments. And now it's at 25.77. So I'm told if it breaks 26, then it gets out of the channel. Steve Cameron, if you take profit when Bitcoin is 68 or 68, I don't believe it. I'll hold on to it for a long time. But yeah, someday I'll have to sell probably. Coinbase stock was up 10% today. I own 1 share of that. Yeah, I got a notification that Coinbase stock was up. Yep. Coinbase Global up 11.63% today, and up after hours too. So yeah, it's coming back from the pullback that we had. The all-time high was like 73 something, 73.7 or something. All right, we'll turn off the music. Good to see you guys. Thanks for being a part of my life. I appreciate you. And if you want to support the show, you know how. You go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. I'll check that to see if there were any I missed. Yeah, Elizabeth Marie bought a coffee since last I checked. Said you the man, Nate. Thanks, Elizabeth Marie. That's at buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. I'd look to get 6 of those if possible while we're still doing the show. So, all right, let me show you about the Black Swan. That Rand Paul is predicting. Oh, I should probably play our intro first, huh? Ryan James says, my silver money went into Solana. That's cool. When did you make the move? Solana's at 1. I should have checked Solana too. Solana's at 184 or something. It was down to 160 something. So you put your silver money in Solana, probably a good move. So you actually got out. Yeah, last time I sold silver for Bitcoin went down. So I've been scared to do that ever since. So have to have silver. Solana, though, is doing just fine. 185. It went up to almost 210 the other day. So Not Me says, I can't speak for myself, but silver is best bought with cash you earn without touching the bank. Yep. You can buy it with cash money and not pay taxes on it too. So yeah, the Solana's been doing amazing. 186, 229. It's still pumping right now. 186, 229. Yeah, it just has to go right back to 200 and then over. So yeah, Solana is the hottest coin. It's got the best fundamentals. You know, everybody's using it. Interest is picking up. So yeah, you can buy some Solana and then you can trade for meme coins if you want. If you want to know how to hold it and trade for meme coins, let me know. But meme coins, very risky, very risky. But if you're interested in a meme coin on Solana, you could go for dog with hat, which is whiff, which might actually dog with hat. Let's see how that's doing today. Up 6.66%. Yeah, dog with hat over time has been up a lot. So that's the biggest meme coin on Solana right now. But right now, yeah, this is the 15-minute chart. Okay. So this is the daily chart. Yeah. So you see it's gone up quite a bit over the last 30 days or so. So, all right, we'll play our intro. Hey, thanks everybody for coming here. Book of Meme. Did you get it? Not me. All right, we'll play our intro. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Good to see you. We do a weird show. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. I bring you the news, the real news. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, not me. You're thinking about getting Book of Meme. Book of Meme went up a lot. Yeah, there's all kinds of coins. There's coins that have a really offensive names that are being launched on Solana right now, but I'm staying away from them for now. Just holding on to my Elizabeth Horan, which actually is up for 50% today. I can show you that too. That's Elizabeth Horn coin, 17 cents, 17 million market cap. So Elizabeth Horn is doing okay. I can show you how to buy it, but I don't recommend it. It's too risky, but you could. Elizabeth Horn, yeah, that's the one. He does good memes. Whoever is in control of that makes some funny memes. So, and everybody hates Elizabeth Warren. So it's the best people meme there is. Okay, here's Rand Paul saying prepare for a black swan.
I think we're reaching this point where some sudden thing is going to happen. I believe in that theory of the black swan.
Yes.
It's going to pop up, and it's not going to be controllable. But people, you ask, what can they do? I think the most important thing is understand what's going on. Is education. That's why I happen to have a homeschooling program, and I try to teach this stuff early, because you can't change it. You can't go in and say, okay, you want $50 an hour. We can't do that, but we'll have a compromise with the other people. We'll just give you $32 per hour, guarantee. That kind of nonsense. You have to be able to, tell them what they have to do. One is to protect the money, one is to protect your wealth. But when I go through this, when people really want to know some details, and I get a little more in detail, I said, but really, the most important thing you do is study and understand what's going on. Because if you come away from that and you're able to accumulate a lot and get by, and you have your guns and you have stored food and all that, it's not going to work. You have to understand what's happening. You have to know it's coming. It's very, very dangerous. And that's why I love to see smaller units of government. Anything that hints that says they're springing up an idea in our states to act like they ought to act.
Yes.
And they're starting to. They're starting to get more independent.
There you go. That's from the Tucker Carlson show. He says prepare for a black swan. Yeah, you want to have your various things. Gold and silver, maybe cryptocurrency. Who knows what's going to happen? But like I said, stock market hit an all-time high today. Here's Joe Biden wandering off the stage because he had to see a baby. I'll show you that.
Much progress together, but
It's very offensive to the person speaking.
Be done, which
Here,
is
check
why
this
we
out.
are going to organize like never before and ensure we are turning out the vote. And we know that there's so much at stake, and that Donald Trump continues to pose
He's such
a
a
threat in
is
so
I
many
mean,
ways. He continues
what a creep.
to spew racist rhetoric and to devalue our community. But we know that the president's vision values, his commitment to faith, family, and hard work are what's going to continue to propel the Latino vote this election cycle.
They've lost Latinos. Look, it's not a big room.
Well, folks, I have to tell you straight up, I like y'all, but I couldn't resist that little babe.
How creepy.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you.
There you go. So that was it. He said he couldn't resist the baby. Weird Uncle Joe move. All right, this was the biggest news from yesterday, is that Supreme Court Supreme Court Justice Jackson said that the First Amendment is hamstringing the government from censoring people. So I'll play that again.
Justice Jackson?
So my biggest concern is that your view has the First Amendment hamstringing the government in significant ways in the most important time periods. I mean, what would you have the government do? I've heard you say a couple times that the government can post its own speech, but in my hypothetical, kids, this is not safe, don't do it, is not going to get it done. And so I guess some might say that the government actually has a duty to take steps to protect the citizens of this country. And you seem to be suggesting that that duty cannot manifest itself in the government encouraging or even pressuring platforms to take down harmful information. So can you help me? Because I'm really worried about that, because you've got the First Amendment operating in an environment of threatening circumstances from the government's perspective, and you're saying that the government can't interact with the source of those problems.
And Your Honor,
Yeah,
I
this is the
understand that,
big
and
free
I guess
speech.
what I tell you
This is
is
the big free speech case in front of the Supreme Court right now, is whether the government can coerce social media companies to take down content they don't like, including like, shot related content and stuff. That's the main thing. And so, that they thought a lot of things were harmful, which weren't harmful. So I have Jim Jordan and Dan Bishop talking about it on Fox News. Oops, sorry. Let me make sure I'm sharing the right page. Here we go.
I think what it comes down to is Justice Alito suggested at one point, actually there's an ensuing argument that is on the same subject, that as long as the government is really subtle about coercing, it might be able to do that, or the Supreme Court might not be able to interfere with it. So that would leave the FBI to embed itself with social media companies, take down the Hunter Biden laptop in election after election after election, if that's the way that turns out.
What do you make of that, Congressman Jordan?
Well, that's what happened. You did have the FBI doing that, but the big takeaway today was Ketanji Brown Jackson when she said to the Solicitor General from Louisiana, she said, "You've got the First Amendment hamstringing the government." Well, that's what it's supposed to do, for goodness sake. It was literally one of the craziest things I've ever seen, that you could have a justice on the United States Supreme Court say that in the oral. I mean, it made no sense to me. That is frightening, because if she really believes that is scary where we're headed. Understand what took place here. This was censorship by surrogate. This was big government telling big tech to take down speech they disagreed with. And it was the most fundamental kind of speech. It was political speech, the kind that's supposed to have the most heightened scrutiny you can have before you can take that down. But that's what took place. And then to have a justice on the Supreme Court say what she said, that is frightening.
Yeah, and some of the things that the government was coercing Facebook and Twitter and others to take down now turned out to be the conventional wisdom, such as what was the origin of COVID.
True. Yeah, it's true.
As we pointed out, some of the plaintiffs in this case are physicians. One of them, Aaron Curiati, spoke with our camera right after the arguments. Listen to what he said.
The government's job is not to decide what is true and what is false and what can be said publicly and what cannot be said publicly. Its only job is to draw the line between illegal and legal speech.
So what do you say to that, Congressman Bishop, that the government crossed the line from where it does actually have jurisdiction into a wholly different area where it doesn't?
I think that's exactly the issue for determination by the Supreme Court is, do we want to have a situation in which the government, the FBI, other agencies are trying to constantly walk a line? How far can they go to keep perfectly legal, protected speech off of public platforms? I just don't think the government ever has a valid interest in doing that. It can come out publicly and say, we don't agree that there could have been a lab leak, that we think that's a ridiculous theory. But to go to the social media companies and say, no one should be allowed to say that, we see from what has happened afterward that that's a bad idea to allow that to occur, because they were wrong.
So, Congressman Jordan, the process of influencing these social media companies, as euphemistically called jawboning, the plaintiffs liken it more to arm twisting, saying that some officials at the White House berated media companies and then threatened legal action if they didn't comply. But to hear Jen Psaki say it, and I'll play this clip from May 5th, 2021, the White House was just making suggestions, and they are nothing if not people who embraced the First Amendment. Listen here.
Well, look, I think we are, of course, a believer in First Amendment rights. I think what the decisions are that the social media platforms need to make is how they address the disinformation, misinformation, especially related to life-threatening issues like COVID-19 and vaccinations that continue to proliferate on their platforms.
So what do you say, Congressman Jordan, to what she said just there?
I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. The IRS or the FBI knock on your door. Your first response isn't, oh, joy, my government servants are here to help me today. Your first response is, this is the federal government. This is the White House. I mean, and the fact that they were pressuring like they were, going after, as Dan pointed out, speech that was true, turned out to be accurate, and yet they were trying to take it down. And by the way, Jen Psaki and President Biden, they got the biggest bully pulpit in the world. If they don't like what's being said, go speak your own mind. Go post something on Twitter or on Facebook. They got accounts. They can do that. But don't go taking down speech that you disagree with for political. Here's how bad it was. The third day of the Biden administration, the White House, Clark Humphrey from the White House sends an email to Twitter saying, take down this tweet ASAP. And guess what the tweet was? RFK Jr. saying, Hank Aaron, 2 sentences. Hank Aaron took the vaccine and passed away. He did so to encourage Black Americans to get vaccinated. 2 true statements. They went after that tweet. True statements. They wanted it taken down. And oh, by the way, who was that individual? The guy running against them in the primary. That is as scary as it gets. But that's what this White House was doing, this administration was doing. Let's hope the court reaches the right decision.
There, that was an old clip of Jen Psaki. By the way, people are saying that Jen Psaki's back. She's not back. It was an old clip of her during the administration saying that. But the censorship was so bad. So much different now that Elon Musk owns Twitter. Here's Elon Musk talking about the coercion that went on at Twitter. So, and that the FBI auto deletes messages. Hey, if you want to support the show, thanks for tuning in. If you want to support the show, definitely think about booking a crypto consultation with me if you need help with crypto. Otherwise, go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. I'll check in on those in a little bit. Or you can buy our t-shirts at truthclothing.io. Here's Elon Musk talking about Twitter's government coercion and the FBI portal that they had at Twitter, formerly Twitter, now X, but when it was Twitter.
You took over X and have instituted these reforms and released the Twitter files. When we're talking about coercion, significant encouragement, joint participation by federal officials, what have you seen?
Yeah, we've seen all of that at scale with the Twitter files. I mean, we try to basically come clean and publish just how much coercion had happened, and I think there's probably more that we just haven't uncovered yet. But there was, and this is coming from multiple parts of the government, from the State Department, the FBI, Homeland Security, from really many parts of the government. It wasn't just one arm of the government. There was this FBI portal that auto deleted all communications after 2 weeks. So we actually don't know what was said there. In fact, that does strike me as a FOIA violation, Freedom of Information Act violation, because you shouldn't be able to auto delete things after 2 weeks. There's a little known agency in the State Department called the Global Engagement Center, which most people have never heard of, but they might have been the single worst offender because they demanded the suspension of at one point over 250,000 accounts, which I think all Twitter largely complied with. But they did. The suspension demands were so broad that they accidentally demanded a suspension of a journalist on CNN and an elected Canadian politician. It was just an incredibly broad swath. And then, of course, one has to be careful of things that constraints on speech that may be dressed up as one thing, but in fact are political in nature. And if one looks at the suspensions and the visibility suppression that happened at Twitter, it was overwhelmingly like 10-1 in favor of Democrats. Like basically, there'd be like 10 voices on the right suppressed for every one on the left. And even if there was someone suppressed on the left, it would usually be because of an argument of 2 people on the left. So it was a very big thumb on the political scale. So I think that there's a reason that we have the First Amendment, and it's important to think about that. Why does it exist? And it exists because people came from countries where they could not speak freely, where if they did speak their mind, they would be imprisoned or killed. That's why they were so concerned about freedom of speech, is because they didn't have it in the countries they came from. And in many places in the world, maybe most places, you don't have freedom of speech. And, there's certainly, no country has the protection on speech that the United States does, not even Canada. So that's it's something we should really take pride in and seek to preserve. Because I think that the bedrock of democracy is freedom of speech. Because if you can't say what you want to say, then I think that's essentially political coercion. If so anyway, there's a reason why there was a high urgency to amend the Constitution with the First Amendment. It was because if you don't have freedom of speech, you got nothing.
There you go. That's truth. And it's better in America than anywhere else. They're trying to pass laws in Canada and Ireland right now where you can't say different things, hate speech laws. So thank God we live in America. And even though Elon Musk isn't perfect, it is better that he took over Twitter and turned it into X, where he doesn't take down things unless they're illegal. There is such a thing as illegal speech. But if it's not illegal, then it shouldn't be taken down. And then the community notes are working pretty well there on Twitter too for debunking things. So have you heard of the Planet Fitness controversy? A woman took a picture of this man inside a women's locker room at Planet Fitness, and that woman had her membership canceled. So people are boycotting Planet Fitness, and their stock is way down too. At least I saw something saying that their stock price was way down. They're doing like a Bud Light on Planet Fitness because they let this man in the locker room where he was shaving or something. A woman took a picture of him, and then she had her membership canceled for taking a picture of somebody inside the locker room. So that's the Planet Fitness story. All right, let me give you the squatter story. So squatters can move into vacant houses and take them over, and then they can't be kicked out. This is the squatter story. So let me show you that. Here's the story.
I have video of you. Who are these people? Figure out the situation. But they're in my house, man. Relax. No.
To understand how this day ended.
We need the police right away.
With multiple 911 calls and arrests, we have to start at the beginning.
Adele, the hardest question is, how do you say your name?
We met Adele Andaloro outside the home her parents left her in Flushing, Queens. She's in the process of selling it.
No, he locked it.
But she's been locked out. She claims squatters moved in on February 6th and refused to leave.
What's it like being here knowing you can't go inside of your own home?
It's enraging. It really is.
In New York, squatters have rights after 30 days.
By the time that someone does their investigation and they do their work and their job, we'll be well over the 30 days, and this man will have stolen my home. And now she's back.
Just after wrapping up our interview, a woman showed up.
What are you doing in the house? Are you renting this house? Why are you here?
She unlocked the front door, saw our cameras, and took off.
It's open. Let's go in the house. It's open.
Adele and her daughter, with the property deed in hand, went inside.
This is my furniture. These are my curtains.
She didn't just find her belongings inside.
There's a man sleeping right there. Get out of my house.
She found two men.
How long have you lived here?
I moved in about 2 days ago.
They've called the police on me, and I've called the locksmiths. I didn't come in illegally. The door was open.
Police started interviewing neighbors and looking for documents.
Do you have something that shows that you've been here for more than 30 days?
They took the man who told me he had been renting for 2 days out in handcuffs.
They got one out.
And escorted the other guy off the property.
Now you're afraid to come out.
I'm not coming out. This house is empty. This is my home. My locksmith is on the corner waiting to change my locks. And that's not fair. It's not fair that I, as the homeowner, should be having to go through this.
How you doing?
Minutes later, a locksmith showed up, but police gave her a warning before they left.
I may end up in handcuffs today if this man shows up here and says that I have illegally evicted him. I said to them, let him take me to court the way I've been told to take him to court. But today, I'm not leaving my house.
Less than 10 minutes after police left and the locks were changed.
What's not going on?
The man who claims to be the one actually leasing the house shows up.
Call the police again.
With the other guy, police took off the property.
Do you see this? This guy just literally broke down my door, broke through myself and my daughter to get in here. This guy just forced himself into my house. Yes, he did. And so did you. You broke through the front door.
The man called the police on her.
So why is it that I have to leave and he doesn't have to leave?
Because technically he can't be kicked out. You need to go to court.
They consider this a landlord-tenant issue. And by law, it has to be handled through the housing court, not with police.
If you own this house, you would not want her inside.
I don't own it.
Exactly,
Yes.
she does.
Yes, but then once again, you should know how the law works.
I do know how it works.
There's rules to the as you got to go to court and send me to civil court.
He says he signed a lease in October, but wouldn't tell us with who.
I got proof longer than that.
Show us the proof.
But who are you for me to show? I showed it to cops.
Dan with Channel 7 News. If you don't want to show it, you don't want to show it.
Proof. Come here, brother. I like that.
I would like to see it.
He didn't show me a lease.
This is a bill.
A bill for work he says he had done to the house. He didn't show police a lease either.
The police department doesn't have the lease?
No.
He's got no documentation.
Just bills.
So Adele, you're getting arrested right now?
I'm being arrested
For what?
For being
in my own home.
And where's your lease?
She's fighting the house. It's not her house anymore.
My deed
That's
is
what we
current
sold
and
her.
legal.
Arrested for unlawful eviction. She changed the locks on a man who claims he lives there.
So how does this all end then? When do you leave?
The way it ends is either she pays me my money that I put into the house, pay me the money, and I'll leave, or send me to court, and we deal with the judge in court. It's that simple.
Yeah, that's right. I played a video. Let's see if I can find it. There was a squatter. There was a video explaining how to basically steal a home, and you just have to show him a fake lease, and then he says she's got to pay him, and then he'll leave. And he's been staying there for however long. All right, I'm going to check my coffees. And thank you. All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Buddha Girl. Oh, that's nice. All right, cool. Thanks, guys. Renee, thank you. Got 5 coffees. And Buddha Girl bought a coffee. Says, good luck with the job, Nathan. Maybe do a weekly wrap up one day on weekend if you get the job. Yeah, thanks. I think I'll be working weekends if I get the job, but I could do a show during the week or something, as long as it's not going to get me fired. Yeah, that's the thing. You can't be too transparent about doing these things because people harass you. Thanks for that. Thank you, Buddha Girl. And thanks, Renee, for buying 5 coffees for me today. I appreciate that so much. Thanks, guys. And I'll check at the end of the show. If you want to leave a note, go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Here is a TikToker who's going viral. He has 300,000 followers, telling his followers about how you can become a squatter, saying you can just invade a house. Here's the clip.
Mi gente, he pensado invadir una casa en United States, ya que me enteré que existe una ley que dice que si una casa no está habitada, podemos expropiarla. Capichi, muchachos, aquí en United States también se aplica la de invasión de terreno. Y creo que ese será mi próximo negocio. Invadir casas abandonadas, ya que me he buscado unos códigos con mis amigos africanos y me dijeron que ya llevan como 7 casas expropiadas. Y como dice el dicho, papi, hay que buscar la vuelta. Y la vuelta ahorita mismo es invadir casas, ya que nos encontramos en situación de calle y es la única manera que tenemos para no vivir en la calle y no ser una carga pública. Capichi, la ley dice que las casas abandonadas, deterioradas y que esté en mal estado, podemos llegar y repararlas, vivir en ella y si podemos venderla, hasta pedir créditos con ella. ¿Qué dicen ustedes?
Darren, can you believe that? So Dan Whiffen says invade against a shotgun. Well, good luck. If you kill him, you're going to jail probably. So you can be a squatter. And then they do repairs, and then they ask the homeowner to pay for the repairs, and then they'll And then they'll move out. But yeah, for those of you who say how to that you want to take care of them the old-fashioned way, they did actually. Some vigilantes actually went to remove the squatters. Apparently, vigilante. Hold on, let me look up that headline. Vigilante Queen squatter. Let's see. The search function on Twitter isn't perfect. Here, it says vigilantes went to the house. Here, I'll share that. Vigilantes tried to evict squatters. So, I haven't seen video of it or anything, but that's the story. Vigilantes try to evict squatters at $1 million Queens house after a homeowner who confronted them is arrested in a tense standoff. So that supposedly happened, but the problem is the squatters have rights. So they're passing something in Florida to get rid of squatters. So there's a law in Florida. Let's see, Florida squatters. They're passing something. Let's see if I have it. Here. House Bill 621, Florida lawmakers pass bill to revoke squatters' rights and protect property owners. So that's happening in Florida. And then you can hire someone to live in the house, and then they make life very uncomfortable for the squatters, apparently. So there are consultants who you can hire to take over the house. So that's that news. All right, I have lowering of standards. There was a House hearing today. You can hear AOC lose it. Here's AOC losing it at this House hearing, where Bobulinski was testifying that Hunter Biden and the Biden family were involved in crimes. So here's some.
Mr. Bobulinski, I heard your opening statement. It's submitted to the record, part of our proceedings. I have a quick question. Simple. Is it your testimony today that you personally witnessed President Joe Biden commit a crime?
I believe the fact that he was sitting with me while I was putting together a business
Did you
deal,
witness the president commit a crime? Is it your testimony today?
Yes.
And what crime have you witnessed?
How much time do I have to go through it?
It is simple. You name the crime. Did you watch him steal something?
Corruption statutes, RICO and conspiracy.
What is it? What is the crime, sir?
He names the crimes.
Specifically.
You asked me to answer the question. I answered the question.
No.
RICO, you're obviously not familiar with. Corruption
Excuse me,
statutes.
sir. Excuse me,
FARA.
sir. Excuse me, sir. RICO is not a crime. It is a category. What is
It's
the
a category of crimes that you're then charged
You
under
have charges.
A long 100.
You have charges. Sir, please
Want me to name the exact statute
Sir,
under RICO?
yes.
Well, it's funny. In this committee room, everyone's not here. There's over 18
All right, sir. I reclaim my time.
lawyers that
I
went to
reclaim
law
my
school.
time. I
I'll leave
reclaim
it
my
up to
time.
you guys
Okay,
to
thank
define
you,
the
sir. I
statutes
reclaim my
under
time.
RICO.
Clearly, what we are seeing here today is a
All right.
continuation.
Then she just goes on. So she says RICO's on. He starts naming the crimes. She just doesn't listen. So she did lose control today at Bob Bobulinski. So that's that news. I have lowering of standards. I have lowering of standards for you guys. And by the way, the United States is not one of the happiest places in the world. Americans over 60 are some of the world's happiest people, while those under 30 are the most miserable, showing the generation gaps, according to an annual index. And we've dropped in our rankings as far as being one of the happiest countries. So that's news today. Here's Nashville police have gotten rid of their physical ability tests so that they can hire more women. They want to get up to 30% women on the police force. Check this out.
it's a male-dominated profession, so women are scared to take that step, maybe thinking that they're not able to do it, but you can do it if you have that right mindset.
It's a mindset the Metro Police Department hopes more women will have. Their goal, a 30% female police force. Last year, it was 11%. This year, it's 13%.
And is it even attainable? I think we're definitely growing. So if we can just keep that momentum going, I believe that it is definitely attainable.
Commander Tiffany Gibson is Metro's first female director of training. She says among the biggest changes they've made to help attract recruits, especially women, no more physical ability tests. Now trainees must pass a physical agility test designed to mirror tasks in the field. They've also added lactation rooms for nursing moms to all 8 precincts, more flexible schedules. That's in addition to their already paid maternity leave and sick time.
What's something the Metro Police Department does not currently offer to female recruits that you think could really be a game changer?
We were trying to get going, possibly help sponsor our own childcare facility, and I think that would be really helpful for females.
Updated travel times, possibly traveling.
New officers like Emma Long hope it all leads to more women joining her on patrols and beyond.
More qualified and strong women to be in this police department and be leaders in this police department. I mean, I think it would be a great thing to see.
Yep. And so there you go. More female cops don't have to pass the same physical tests. I actually dated someone who went through police academy, and it was very hard. And she was a female, and she had to pass the regular test, and it was very hard for her, but she passed it. And that's the standard. Now they're just lowering the standards for the test. And yeah, I've seen the test, the agility test. Please hold on. Let me see if I can see it. All right, hold on. I've seen the no, I can't see it. I would show it to you if it was good. So in Washington State, they're not making lawyers pass the bar exam anymore because they say it's racist. So just what Elon Musk said to Don Lemon, that they're lowering standards. So there you go. The Supreme Court of Washington has ruled that prospective lawyers will no longer be required to pass a bar exam in the state. So there you go. All right. Then I have a few videos about that. I have that video. Let me see what you guys want to see. I have a few videos from Donald Trump. I have Kevin O'Leary. Letitia James can apparently seize Donald Trump's property starting Monday because he hasn't been able to postpone in his appeal, which is like a $450-some million bond. So here's Kevin O'Leary saying how ridiculous it is.
But more importantly, the message about the American brand. You think about America, the reason this is the #1 economy on earth is that we have laws and we have due process and we have property rights. It attracts foreign capital from all around the world. All of that is being shaken to the core here. The concept of seizing assets in 30 days on a bond number that's never been issued. No insurance bond company's ever issued anything near this. So there was no chance it was going to happen. And only giving 30 days notice and time, that's a really bad message. And I think New Yorkers should think well past Trump, whether he's president or not, or whether this attorney general is gone in 4 years or not, it's irrelevant. This is case setting against the American brand, the most stable country on earth, anywhere to put capital to work over a long period of time, particularly in real estate, is the United States of America. This is an assault on what we believe to be core. And I find it extraordinary. I think it's very troubling. It has absolutely nothing to do with Donald Trump at this point, in my view, and it is completely bipartisan. This is an attack on America. And I don't know how you can look at it any other way. And as an investor, and I know plenty of investors who are completely disturbed by this, but I mean, no one is going to put any money to work in New York in these amounts until this thing settles down. The whole world is watching, and everybody's waiting for one thing we haven't got yet: adult supervision. Where is it? Where are the adults in this crazy narrative? Certainly, there's got to be adult supervision at some point. And I understand, you know, the war going on here and all the political yada, yada, woof, woof, woof. But we need an adult in the room now. This is the United States of America under siege.
There you go. So that's Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful. All right, then I'll show you just finally on Bitcoin news. ETFs are still gobbling up Bitcoin. The only you guys, well, there are half the audience that care. ETFs are still buying Bitcoin even while it was going down. There's only one ETF that was selling Bitcoin yesterday when Bitcoin was crashing. So, and as far as stock market crash news, the stock concentration, the market cap of the largest stock relative to the 75th percentile stock is the highest it's ever been since the Great Depression. So it's higher than it was for the Great Depression when it got up to that level in 1932. So we are close, maybe close to having the Great Depression. So meanwhile, Bitcoin's at 67.8, 67.5 now, but coming back. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning into the show. Reminder, if you want to contact me for crypto consulting, text my phone number, 650-429-8294, the show phone number, 650-GAY-TAXI. Just text me and let me know, and we can set something up. Thanks for the coffees today. Really appreciate it. Hadn't been getting very many of those, so I really appreciate it. And I will leave you guys with that for now. We'll see you at the next one, okay? Should be tomorrow. For now, that's what it is.